And if you are ever in an interview process given an NDA, run. What it do? It's your boy Codehova from Fly Combinator. We're going to talk about iOS interviews and when you get coding assessment assignments from these places that you're going to work at. I think when it first comes to starting out, there's no way that you're going to escape this. You're going to have to build something. They're going to want to see how you build code. And, it's going to be something like a weather app. They want you to download something from some weather JSON, get it, fetch it, and then they're going to want you to build a multi-view app, and they want to see how you build the app. I mean, when you're a beginner, you might just think, oh, it's going to be MVC, and you're going to build it in the way that you know how. But there's definitely ways that you could differentiate yourself to come in a different angle where they're going to see you in a better light, right? They're going to want someone who builds code that can be, well, if you're still a junior dev, they're going to want someone who has the ability to be malleable. They want someone who's able to learn new tricks, learn better ways to do things, and be able to implement it from that point on and proceed on to become a better developer. That's what they want. And like I said, it's either going to be, some weather app, it could be a Flickr app, it could be all kinds of shit. And yeah, there's no way you're going to escape it. And there are ways you could escape it, like I have done. It's by having an app in the App Store. Some people, if they just present an app in the App Store, then they could move on. Sometimes they would want to look at the source code, and that's really depending on if I want to work at that place really, really bad, right? I would definitely. I regret it now, but there's places I just told them to fuck off, right? So I guess that's just how I am, man. But what I wanted to say about it all is you're just not going to escape from the code assessment. There's some places that don't have them, and that's great, but I'm pretty sure if they're not going to have some kind of code assessment, they're going to do a lengthy interview in their offices where they want to see how you either work with code or how you're able to work with algorithms. But code assessments are something that you will not escape. But there is one type of assessment that you should definitely be aware of. I don't think that it would happen for junior devs, but this is for senior devs and also architect level devs. I'm pretty sure I'm only talking to the senior devs right now, but there's an assessment that they're going to request you to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. And if you are ever in an interview process given an NDA, run. Okay? Because it's real funny how these motherfuckers work sometimes. So I've had a situation where there was a startup and they're pretty new into the game. They supposedly had all the funding. They had funding. And it's like they went through great lengths. So I was only interested in this position because it would be an easier commute for me. And the thing is, it's like we had a very lengthy step 1 and a step 2, which of course your boy Codehova, it's a piece of cake, right? It's just a waste of my goddamn time. But then there came this process of, hey, we want you to sign an NDA for the last step. And it's like, all right. I mean, these people already agreed to the desires I had in the salary. They accepted the fact that I wanted to work from home at least 3 out of 5 days of the week. And so, yeah, they're like, all right, we're going to have our lawyers draft something up, which is bullshit. But they just sent over a non-disclosure agreement. And basically, this non-disclosure agreement, what it implied is, after you sign this document, whatever you create for your assessment, your coding assessment, it will be the property of company X. Okay, so as soon as I saw that literature in the contract, right? I'm not a fucking lawyer, but I know exactly what's written, what it means. Okay, so I was like, all right, let's see. I was just curious, man. I was just curious, like, what do these fuckers have in mind? So they sent me back the assignment after I signed the document, sent it over. All right. So what I got in return was a request. This assessment, mind you, it was supposed to be a 5-day assessment. They're going to time it from the moment that I received it. 5 business days later, I will have to turn it in. These motherfuckers wanted me to build their MVP. Okay? They wanted me to build their minimum viable product. They wanted me to create an iOS app that's going to have an integrated backend, okay, which I definitely could do. But they wanted to create the backend. They wanted to implement push notifications. They wanted to implement all the models. They wanted testing built in. They wanted the whole MVP. Now, I don't know. You see, if you're a junior and you're given that opportunity, right? You might have to do it. You might have to bite the bullet. But for me, it's like they honestly wanted me to build their minimum viable product, the product that they're probably going to show to their investors. And it's like they're going to take the code that I write and they're going to show it to their investors. And if their investors like it, sure, they'll hire me. But basically, it's my work that gave them clout. It's my work that gave them something to show off. And it could have been my work that they just took, and then they're going to hire some fuckers in India to build on top of it. So that's what you have to worry about when it comes to coding assessments. When it comes to coding assessments that prospective employers are going to give you, if they want you to build an app, sure, fine. That's part of the game. But when it comes to them offering this opportunity to you, but it's tied to an NDA, which, sure, you're going to not be able to talk about what company did this, gave it to you, and you're not going to discuss anything about this interview process. But when that NDA also includes a clause that anything that you create is owned by them, fucking run. Fuck them. And, yeah, it's so funny to me because that's exactly what I told the CTO of that company. I told him to go fuck himself. And there's only one reason why that I regret doing such a thing. And that is the fact that the recruiter that I was working with, that recruiter stopped working with me. And I don't blame her. I mean, if it's all a matter of professionalism, I know exactly why the recruiter did what that recruiter did. But at the same time, it's like, I just couldn't not take that opportunity to tell some pompous motherfucker to go fuck himself for trying to enslave me, right? And especially for no pay. If he was going to give me 40 hours of pay to do this assessment, I might have considered. Because I know what he wanted me to build. I could have built that shit fucking hot, right? But hey, that's what it is, man. Anyway, so that's my experience and enlightenment that I could pass on to you concerning job interviews that have coding assessments. It's your boy Codehova. If you have any comments, questions, make sure to leave it down below in the comments on this YouTube video. But another thing I just want you to remind you of is every Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern, live streaming. You dig? So make sure to follow, subscribe on YouTube, and follow me on Instagram at Fly Combinator. That's at Fly Combinator. Peace.